Hey there, and welcome to the first ever 3-Bit Tip. I am Lindsay McMillian Steeman, principal and owner of McMillian Consulting, and I'm so glad that you are taking the couple minutes to join me in listening to this first ever recording. I have to be fully transparent with you that this idea just came to me this morning, so I don't have a fully baked strategy in place, but I'm so excited to share with you and introduce you to some of the best and brightest people I know in their fields. Yes, I'm giving you a little glimpse into my home. This is our sunroom, and we're just going to get started. So here's what I have experienced in the last week very quickly is that with everything going on regarding the coronavirus, there is so much uncertainty, a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, and we don't know how long we're going to be asked to in practice social distancing and staying at home and not being able to go on our work travel and personal travel. But one thing that I have found to be very true and consistent every single day since the outbreak and really as we are learning more information day to day, and that is the constant idea that people want to continue to stay connected, they want to continue to learn. And so here's where we're at. My idea is that in under 10 minutes, that's what we're going to shoot for. I'm going to welcome people onto this conversation and have them introduce themselves, who they are, what they do, who they do it for, and then give us three tips of insight or encouragement in their specific area of expertise. We'll end on a happy note, and then also they'll be given the opportunity to tell us how we can stay connected with them. And that's it. So not sure where this is going, but hope you will give us a little bit of grace and me grace on going through this journey. So I'll kick us off. I am Lindsay McMillian Steeman, principal and owner of McMillian Consulting, and I predominantly work in the financial services industry with financial advisors who are business owners who want to understand how to leverage LinkedIn as a revenue generating tool in their tool belt for their financial practice. So normally that means that they are hiring us in the area of branding and marketing. So they'll engage us in what's called the profile transformer, where we interview them, build their entire story based on that interview, and ultimately make sure the reputation they have offline in their business community is mirrored online through their LinkedIn profile. I also will equip advisors and their teams on how to leverage this tool. So we do a lot of remote training. I'm a big believer in teaching my clients how to fish and not fishing for them. And then I'm also hired to speak as a keynote speaker or breakout session speaker at conferences and annual meetings. Yes, specifically on how to use LinkedIn as a branding tool, prospecting tool, sourcing and recruiting tool, you name it, it's all LinkedIn. So what I always tell people is what I am not is I am not a social media expert. And what I am not is a social media manager. I really believe in the philosophy that teaching should be practical in order for learning to be actionable. So I also do a lot of group on-site half-day workshops as well. Okay, so that's a little bit about me and what I do and who I do it for with my team. Now, my 3 tips, of course, are about LinkedIn. The first one is going to be about the LinkedIn profile. If you've ever followed anything that I've talked about, you know how much I talk about the LinkedIn profile and how critical it is. So listen up, even if you're a client of mine who has gone through the profile transformer process, I still want your ears to be turned on. The aspect of LinkedIn that constantly gets overlooked are LinkedIn recommendations. With the newfound time that we have in our schedules, being at home and just wanting to stay connected, I want to challenge you to think of one person this week who you can give a recommendation to on LinkedIn, where you can speak to their credibility and the work that they did for you. And I also want you to think of a second person who you can request a recommendation from. So oftentimes these are our clients. Now, if you are one of my clients who's in financial services, who has to take compliance into consideration, you know whether or not you can use recommendations. And most of you, if you don't know your social media policy, turns out you can have recommendations. You just have to go through your appropriate social media compliance tool or platform to make sure that recommendation you receive is indeed compliant before adding it to your profile. So tip number one, build out those recommendations, friends, because it is a powerful area of your LinkedIn profile that you are likely missing out on. Tip number two, stay connected, right? That's one thing that I know you desire, I desire, and so do our clients and our friends and our prospects and our family. So I want you to think about an article that you've read in the last week, and it may be about things that you're learning about regarding the coronavirus. It could also be regarding productivity or even around rest and giving yourself some grace. I want you to think of one of those articles that you've read recently that you could send to somebody who is on your target prospecting list, okay? So if you need to pause this video right now, and I want you to think of 5 people. Yes, I want you to think of 5 professionals, 5 people who are on your prospecting list that you need to share that article with. And you're not asking for anything. You're just saying, hey, I've been thinking about you. How are you doing? And by the way, came across this article and thought you might find it useful. Feel free to share it with others too. Hope you're doing well. Hope to hear back from you. That's it, right? You're not asking for a meeting. You're just wanting to stay top of mind with people and provide value. And again, the value might not even be around your area of expertise, right? So that's my tip number 2. Tip number 3 is make sure that you are carving out time in your week to dedicate to your professional development. So it might be listening to our 3-tip bit each week. It could be spending time on your business, right? Thinking about your prospecting and marketing plans and branding plans for this year. It could be about sourcing talent for that position that you know you're not going to need until the summer, but when's the best time to build that pipeline of talent? Right now. So dedicate professional development in your calendar every single week, especially in, again, these uncertain times, but also in some newfound time that you've had. So those are my 3 tips. I hope that you found them insightful and encouraging and educational and informative. And the last thing that I'll leave you with is something that makes me happy. Now, if you know me at all, and if you've been following me on Instagram, yes, at LinkedIn Lindsay is my handle, then you know that I love sweets. And tomorrow is actually my birthday. And so I'm really hoping that Pink Mama's Ice Cream is going to be able to still make my ice cream cake for my birthday. But I have a plan B. And my plan B is Utz Cottontails. Has anyone heard of these? They are a newfound love of mine. They're little balls of heaven. They are cheddar cheese balls. Can you tell that food makes me really happy? It does. And I'm not shy to admit it. So anyways, it's a little peek behind the curtain, something that makes me really happy. Hope you got a good laugh out of it. And listen, if you have not tried those Utz Cottontail cheddar cheese balls, then you're missing out, my friend, and you need to go find them at your store. So thanks for tuning in to our first ever 3-tip bit. Stay tuned to future conversations with awesome leaders. And if you're interested in joining the conversation, feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram at LinkedIn Lindsay, LINDSEY. Of course, you can find me on LinkedIn. And my name, of course, is Lindsay McMillian Steeman. You can follow me there or send me a direct message and invitation to connect. Tell me that you found me here. And then definitely be sure to follow our company page, McMillian Consulting. We've got a lot of great content on that page that we've been building out over the last year and a half that is full of articles about leadership and professional development and LinkedIn as well. So thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate you and look forward to staying in touch. Have a great day.